What's going on, everyone? So Pakt, a company that I highly respect and love all of their products, is releasing today a new collection called the Go Anywhere collection. And that collection includes things like the 5-liter Sling, a 25-liter everyday duffel bag, a 50-liter everyday duffel bag, and a thing that they call a gear hauler, a nice little contraption that expands out and shrinks down depending on how much you need to get in terms of like groceries and things like that. And they were so kind enough to reach out to me and ask me if I would be interested, little old me, in reviewing a couple of their products. So I got my hands on the 25-liter everyday duffel and the 5-liter Sling, and I will say right off the rip, there is no doubt, yet again, Pakt has made incredible products that fit the everyday lifestyle of a variety of individuals. Off the top, I'll say that this collection right here, the 25-liter and the 5-liter Sling, the two that I've gotten to use, this is great for some bigger everyday duffel bag carry or gym, work, EDC, things like that. The Sling works really well. It pairs very nicely with the duffel bag, but also works really well on its own if you want to use it for like a minimal camera setup, maybe just something to run down to the grocery store just to carry some everyday items that you don't want to put in your pockets, or you don't need a larger backpack in order to carry those. Something like this 5-liter Sling, it works really well. It folds away and fits nicely on top of the duffel, and all around this whole thing is honestly pretty phenomenal, and it's been something that I've really enjoyed using. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the 5-liter Sling, but as you see, it is connected on top of the 25-liter duffel, and that is because on the sides of the 5-liter Sling, there are these little like strap bits that you can run the handles to the 25-liter bag through and then connect those up at the top, and the 5-liter Sling will then fit like a little, like the NASA space shuttle on the rockets kind of setup here. It'll fit on top of the bag, and then you can carry that with you. So if you were going to use this as a minimal travel bag, because yes, this is based off of the design of the Pakt 40-liter duffel bag that is made for travel. This is a smaller version with very similar items and function and organization to that 40-liter bag, that if you wanted something maybe for like a weekend trip, but you didn't quite need that 40-liter bag that they offer, this is a great replacement, because then if you wanted something even smaller, like a Russian nesting doll situation, when you get to where you're going, this 5-liter Sling, not only is it a great travel companion when you're in transit with this 25-liter bag, it works really well when you get to where you're going. So the way they included this, it's very small, it's very minimal. Some people might oversee that and just be like, oh yeah, cool, it's whatever. But in the reality of it, this is a really cool addition that really elevates this to a whole new level, because if you want to combine these together, they made it where they integrate really well together as well as working separately. So with this 5-liter Sling, I'll go ahead and pull it off here, and we'll start with it because I feel like that 25-liter bag, I broke it, fair warning. I did ruin something inside. My fault, not Pakt. I'm an idiot, but we'll get to that. But this Sling works really well. Now, what I've decided to do is I tested this here where I live as a like everyday small camera sling, right? This is not meant to be a camera sling. This does not have like the organization for a camera sling, but depending on how you pack it out, this thing works really well. I tried it in a variety of ways, and I really enjoyed just taking my Canon body with a couple extra lenses, maybe my SD card case, my battery case, and a couple other little items in here. I was also able to use this for my drone, but honestly, if I'm bringing my drone, I'm probably bringing all of my camera equipment, but it all works. So depending on what you want to bring, it works really well. You have this nice back panel, and this is where the Sling pops out. It just folds nicely in there, and you can pull that out, and then you can clip it to one of 2 attachment points. Now, these attachment points are beefy and nice, and I think they work really well, but the reason I like that it's one of 2 attachment points is depending if you're a lefty or a righty, you can have this Sling fit to where when you sling it around, whichever way it is, from your left to your right or your right to your left, it'll work on your bag. So they made this friendly for both lefties like myself and the righties out there, which I think is really cool, because they could have easily just made it a normal Sling and gone whatever, but they made that a really nice little addition to it, if you will. In terms of comfort with the Sling, I am 5'8", about 175-ish pounds. That's what the Sling looks like on me. It honestly is pretty nice. In all Sling fashion, the only thing I have is that it kind of moves and it doesn't stay in place, but that's with a majority of the Slings that you can get into the 5-liter range, and the heaviness, or depending on what you're putting in them, that can definitely be a factor you have to take into consideration. But overall, the comfort factor and the adjustability of the Sling with this nice little thing right here, I found it to be very easy and very simple. It's not difficult. I found it to be not cumbersome or anything like that. And then when you want to restore it, say to put it back on the bag or you're done, it just kind of folds back in there. And I found it fits in this little area very nicely. The only thing I will say is a little bit with this material, I've seen some of my dog hair, Max, you guys all know him, big part of this channel. Here's a video of him laying down as I'm recording this. You can show up a little bit. It doesn't stick. It's not nearly as bad as it used to be with some of these materials, not necessarily from Pakt, but just in general in the bag world. But you can definitely see some of the dirt and dust and dog hair. Though it doesn't stick, it brushes off very easily, so that is also a really nice factor. So on the Sling, it's very, very simple and basic, and that's why I like it. You've got this nice front pouch here, which is great for EDC items. I have found putting things like my work phone or regular phone, depending on what you want. I'm using my regular phone right now, as well as things like your headphones, my AirPod Pros, fit in there very nicely, and then car keys. Always like a good spot for car keys. I'm not too worried about anything getting scratched with those, but that is a nice big open front compartment. That is your quick access. That is your go-to. That is your quick grab and get kind of pocket. Great for wallet, keys, phones, headphones, anything of that nature. Fits really nicely in this compartment up here at the front, and I really dig it. In the main compartment of the Sling, you open this up, it has this nice like little accordion almost style opening here on the side, if you can see that. And this is where I've put my main shebang shaboodle. If you can see in here, I have my Canon M50 with 2 extra lenses, my battery case, a notebook, and I also have my SD card. Now, again, this will fit a variety of EDC items. There's tons of organization here that I didn't utilize because I didn't need to, and that is the nice thing about this. If you don't need to use the organization that they've provided to you, it does not take away from what you're using, and it does not exactly add to what you're using, if that makes sense. No matter what you have in here, whether you're using the organization or not, it's going to work really well and be incorporated in this where it makes it easy to use, and that's why I like it. Because in the main compartment, I was able to just throw, or gently put, because I'm not gonna throw my camera equipment because then I'd be out of a job, just nicely in this main compartment is where that fit, just nicely sitting in there. And I was worried because I was like, when you're slinging this around, is that gonna move? Even though these aren't the biggest items, like this is just a stock lens. I literally like never use this, but I always bring it just in case. All of those were like compact enough that they didn't move around, they didn't jostle, they didn't get damaged, anything like that. And again, like I said, this isn't exactly made for camera gear, but it worked really well for my camera gear. Behind that is the extra organization, and that is where I've put my battery case, my notebook, and a writing utensil. In here, like I said, I use mechanical pencils. I'm not fancy, I don't have fancy pens. And then I have my Peter McKinnon battery case that I use for my Canon M50. And then I recently finally got a Peter McKinnon notebook because he has like Pete's Pirate. Okay, Max. I don't know if you heard that, but he just knocked a bunch of stuff over. But Pete's Pirate Life, his Instagram, he always has like random drops where he'll open up a store and you can get some stuff. And I finally was able to get my hands on a notebook, so I'm super stoked about that. I'm using that to write my 5 crucial tasks of the day, 5 goals I set for myself every day, a little big, a little small, to accomplish. Works really well, and I like bringing it with me places. On the other side, you have a large zipper compartment that also has the word Pakt on it, and this is where I have chosen to put my SD card case. Now, this is a bigger compartment, as you can see, plenty of room. You could easily fit larger, bigger items in there. And for a small EDC, this is kind of in my realm of what I would take if I was going out, if we were gonna go to Boston and maybe go to like a comedy show and then hit a bar or something, and I needed to bring something to carry, like our phones, maybe our wallets, and a couple other small items like car keys and things. And this is exactly what I would use in 100%, because I feel like even if you didn't want to use this in sling mode, just carrying this around wouldn't look stupid. It almost would look like a larger purse or satchel or something of that nature. And I think Pakt did a great job in designing this because, again, it is a 5-liter sling and it fits in a lot of different items and it works really well. So 5-liter sling is phenomenal and it works really well with the 25-liter bag. Now with that, let's get into the main attraction, the 25-liter go anywhere duffel. Okay, so you will see a lot of similarities if you've seen any review or my review on the 40-liter or even the Pakt backpack that they did with Chase Reeves. They kept a lot of those basic core elements that work really well, and they've integrated it into this smaller 25-liter version. The first thing you'll notice is on the sides here, you've got the magnet pouches that they had on the 40-liter. So like just a quick access, they call it like their magazine pouch. They're just magnetic, quick items, things like boarding passes. I mean, again, like wallets, phones, keys, things like that all work really well in there. There's a lot of organization on the outside of this bag as well as the inside. And I will tell you right now, I was not able to find an item to put in all of the organization that this bag offers because there's just so much. So with that, let's get into the organization, starting with this side. That has the two main like organization bits that you have on the 40-liter bag as well. And in here I was able to just kind of throw an extra power charger just in case. I always like to carry one, usually out of sight, out of mind kind of carry item that I don't usually end up needing, but in the off chance that maybe my phone starts to die or my headphones or whatever, I have a way just in case if I'm not in a place where I can charge it. If you were to use this as like your weekend travel bag, maybe on a flight or on a plane, or plane and flights are the same thing. But either way, these are where I would put things like that you'd be a little bit worried about being snatched or maybe losing, things like boarding passes, wallets, phones. Maybe when you're going through security, these are great security dump pockets. I know they have these magazine pouches, but to me, I just don't like putting loose items like that in there. I would reserve these for things like maybe my tablet if I needed it when I got to the flight, or a larger notebook or anything like that, or what it actually says it's for, a magazine. But these are really great if you're using it for a travel bag, keeping items secure, nice little front two pockets. You know exactly what's in here because they stand out compared to the other side because they are different and they work really, really well. With that, you also, like I said, have this magazine pocket behind it, which is where I put things like a notebook. This is just a really cheap dollar store notebook. But anything that you want in here that's quick access, this is what you're getting on both sides in terms of quick access. Again, though, I just don't feel 100% comfortable putting like loose items in there. There's not a really good spot on this bag for things like sunglasses, things that you're worried about getting scratched. There's not like a felt lined or a fleece lined pocket that really fits that narrative. But overall, both of these magazine pockets do work and they serve a good purpose, if anything, as a security dump, maybe when you're going through TSA. On the other side, it is very similar, but instead of two small pockets, you have just one large pocket. I could not find anything to put in here that really fit what I would take for EDC. And then on the other side of that, you also have another magnetic magazine pockets, quick access, if you will. So you have tons and tons of organization on the outside of this bag that all work really well. Again, if you don't need to utilize all of it, that is fine too, because it does not take up anything. It does not take away from anything. It does not make it harder to carry. It does not make it easier to carry. They are there if you need them, and that's what I like. I like pockets on a bag like this that if you need to use them, they are there. And if you don't, it doesn't affect anything. A lot of bags these days will have pockets that are designed for like one specific item. And if you don't put that one specific item in there, it doesn't work. This bag gives you the freedom to put whatever you want, wherever you want, as long as it fits where you like it and where you most benefit from using it. Also, you have two water bottle pockets. One is what they call like their oversized water bottle pocket here on, I mean, there's not really like a left and right on this bag, but this one opens up large. I mean, you can fit some of those larger Yetis, some larger fat boys or whatever, I don't know what they're called, but you can fit even two water bottles in here if you wanted to. If you're the kind of person that needs 3 water bottles, this is the bag for you, because you can fit 2 in this pocket and 1 in the other, or you can fit a ginormous one in this one and a small one in this one if you get dehydrated easily. So I like that. They also put that like waterproofing, like weather resistant kind of material that they had in the Pakt travel backpack, where they had like the wash kit compartment in that bag. The same kind of material, so it's water resistant, like repellent, where just like the water flies off and there's a drainage on the bottom. The water bottle pocket on the other side is your normal water bottle pocket, where I've able to put my normal canteen, and this has that stretchy elastic bit to kind of expand a little bit for larger, but keep your pocket or your bottle nice and snug. Whereas this one actually has magnets that pop it out, and that's how it kind of folds up nicely against the bag. In terms of carry, you have 3 ways to carry this bag. You have the shoulder strap, which has 2 connection points on either side of the water bottle pockets, which works really well. I like a good shoulder strap. There's nothing special about this one. It's not beefy. It's the same kind of strap you get on the 5-liter Sling as well. Easy to organize, easy to adjust, not organize. I don't know, that doesn't make any sense. And you also have the normal handles, but these handles are long enough that that is how you go into backpack mode. So if you wanted to, you could carry this thing as a backpack. So if you're taking this on a weekend trip and you're going through TSA and then you have, I don't know, like a long, like my old airport back in Salt Lake City, it felt like it was 2 miles to get across Terminal B. Instead of carrying like a duffel bag and hurting one of your shoulders, you could throw this thing in backpack mode and take off and be good. So you have 3 different ways to carry it. And in terms of duffel bags that do that whole hybrid duffel carry, backpack carry, this one isn't bad. There's some out there that try this whole method with the straps that I feel like don't work as well. These are big enough that they're not difficult to get on. You can adjust them, but they're not super uncomfortable. It's not something I'd want to wear for a very long time because at the end of the day, this is just webbing material and that's not going to be comfortable for a long duration. But for a quick get out, go, maybe backpack mode just for 100 feet, 200 feet, a mile, or whatever it might be, it can definitely be utilized in a pinch and work pretty solid. The way this bag opens is you have 2 zippers that open down the side and open like a weird flap thing. You can do one and just leave one on like one end and then do like a all the way around kind of zip. So you have the utilization to have 2 zippers, which you can customize to maybe if you want access to the front, to the side, or wherever it might be where there's an item that you need to grab quickly from the inside. That double zipper does work really well. On the inside here, again, EDC bag, what I would carry with me, now it's summer, so I don't know if this is something that's applicable, but when it's cooler, because right now it's like 90 degrees out, I would normally carry something like a jacket because you never know when you might need one, especially like in our office. You never know if your office is gonna be cold or warm or hot or muggy or whatever it might be. I like to always have a jacket with me just in case I need one. You never know. It doesn't take up a lot of room. This is the Western Rise Airloft 2.0 jacket that I take with me pretty much everywhere because it's super nice. I also have a Boundary Supply tech kit and my Wandered tech kit. This is like my mobile filmmaking gear, and this is more of like my mobile office chargers, cables, dongles, things like that kind of gear. Those 2 I use quite a lot. Now, for the most part, that's pretty much all I had in here except for my Bellroy Workfolio A5, which holds my iPad mini that I used for designing certain things, which maybe I'll talk more about that later. And that is pretty much all I put on the inside, but there is tons of organization. On the side where the laptop would go, you have a spot for up to a 15-inch laptop as well as a tablet sleeve in front of that. Now, this is where I broke my bag. I broke the button, and this is not Pakt's fault at all. This is 100% mine. I yanked this so hard and aggressively by accident that I ripped the button out of the bag. Now, I had used this multiple times of just snapping and unsnapping with no issues, but one day I was in a hurry and I just went, and it ripped the whole thing out. So I would say, now this is like a sample, so there's a chance there might be some stitching issues because this was one of the first like batches that they sent out or whatever before they actually release the final thing. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to say influencer because I'm definitely not that, but it's a sample for people that talk about bags, which I fall into that category somehow. Well, I do because that's what this channel is. You get what I'm saying. I'm not gonna keep explaining myself. But yeah, so again, I would just be careful. I mean, any button, don't rip it like I did because that's probably gonna break it, and don't do that. But it worked really well up until I broke it, so now I just kind of tuck it in back behind to where it's out of sight, out of mind. But that is one side of the bag. On the other side, you have some internal organization. A couple little pockets and sleeves and zippers, and then you have this little door here. I don't know if you can, this little door is something that you can snap onto the other side, and this one I have not broken yet. I'm very proud of myself, and it adds like a little divider. right? And the reason I like this is because usually I would divide like my jacket from my other items, but it also keeps the shape of the bag going this way together to where you don't have to worry about if you don't have this thing super packed out, it floofing or flopping or drooping in any way at all, which I really like. I think that little door addition is something you don't see a lot in a lot of bags like this, and it's something that I think is cool, and it adds an extra level of organization that you don't really see that often. The other two little compartments are very simple, just little zippered guys, but you have plenty of room in here. I could easily fit a Pakt has packing cubes for their like Pakt travel backpack and their Pakt duffel, right? So the large packing cube will fit in here and a small packing cube. I can also fit a toiletry kit and my tech kit, my laptop, and all the other items that I would normally need. I can fit anywhere on the outside of this bag, and it easily becomes a great 25-liter weekender bag. Now, my typical range in liters for weekender bags are anywhere from like 22 to like the 25 liters, so this is in that perfect range. And then like the long extended trips, I like the 32 to 35 liter range. Those to me are kind of ideal for the amount of gear I bring and how much I actually need. Those bags fit really well, and they're small enough that they can fit underneath the seat in front of me and I don't have to worry about it too much, and this is no exception. So overall, oh, another thing I should have mentioned going around the outside of this bag is it does have a luggage pass-through if you wanted to attach this to a roller luggage, which I don't own, so I can't show you that ever because I don't like roller luggage. Just not a fan. So overall, the Pakt 25-liter bag, right? It fits a lot of needs, and I think that if you're the kind of person that likes a good duffel bag, because that's what it's gonna come down to on this. I don't know why I keep like sliding this around. But when it comes to duffel bag carry, that's what it's gonna depend on. If you're not a fan of duffel bags, this isn't gonna magically make you love duffel bags, right? I am not the biggest fan of duffel bags, but they've started to grow on me. That's because I've used a variety of different ones and I'm starting to use them more. As far as a gym bag goes, I feel like a duffel bag is the way to go when it comes to the gym. There's just something about a gym duffel. And I think as a gym bag, if you're going from like the office to the gym, this is ideal because you can fit some of your office stuff if you need to and your gym stuff in here, no problem. You could easily fit a shaker cup, all your pre-workouts or post-workouts, your extra clothes, your towel, your toiletry if you needed to shower, anything like that can all fit in here really nice. In terms of EDC, you have plenty of organization to fit your EDC items and carry with you throughout the day. And for office work, I found that I can fit my entire office loadout, my laptop, my stand, my mouse, my keyboard, my headset, my, I think I already said keyboard, all of those items can fit in there really nicely. And so it's a super solid bag. Another thing that I was able to do is actually fit like a mini lunchbox in here as well, because there's just a lot of extra room, and that little divider kept that lunchbox from spilling over or tangling with any of the other items that are in my bag. Is this the like best duffel bag out there? That's up to you. I found it to be one of the more enjoyable bags that I've used in a while. In terms of the duffel bag realm, this is probably up there with one of the favorites I've used in terms of EDC because it's just that good. And I'm not surprised because when Pakt came out with their 40-liter duffel, that was one of the first duffel bags I ever used for travel, and I instantly fell in love with it. This is just a smaller version of that, which is why I think it works so well, because they didn't try to reinvent something that already works for them. They just scaled it down to make it work for you. So with all of that, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know down below, and I'll do my best to answer those for you. You have the 25-liter duffel, a 5-liter sling, a 50-liter duffel, and the gear hauler all releasing today. I will link it below to the Kickstarter, or it's either on Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I can't remember which one at the time of recording. So you have a link down below. Full disclosure, they offered me like a kick booster link or whatever where I get a kickback. I'm not using that. I don't really believe in using those links where if you click on it, I get something because you're gonna buy a product. I want you to buy it. If you're gonna buy off my opinion, I want it to be because my opinion is 100% genuine and I don't get anything from it. They sent me the products, that's good enough for me, my honest review. I don't need kickback for it. So if you do use that link, I don't get anything for it, 100% my honest review and opinion. What I said, I stand behind. If you need any additional footage or photos or any other questions that you might have, you can also shoot me an email, odiematthewsbags@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at odie_matthews. It's a great way to get in touch with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all of that good nonsense. And I know this is weird because this is coming out on a Tuesday and I usually release videos on a Sunday, but I had to release this in correlation with the launch, which I'm super stoked for, so go check it out, and I will see you guys next time.